Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire!
Welcome to Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking theater.
Ah, my lords and ladies, geeks, geekarellas, geekulas, and geekeritas. I am Lord Blood-Rah, and this is Lord Blood-Rah's nerve-wracking theater. Gather round now and turn the lights down low, because it's time for a nice, old-fashioned ghost story. Boo! Ha ha! Tonight, we have a tale of love, murder, and vengeance from beyond the grave. Ha ha! From 1946, it's the romantic chiller Strangler of the Swamp. This film is actually a remake of an earlier German film called Ferryman Maria, directed by Frank Weisbar, who also directed this American version. It has been called by critics the best of the PRC Studios' Poverty Row films, far surpassing other low-budget offerings of its day. Let's see what you think. Without further ado, I give to you Strangler of the Swamp. Ha ha!
Can I be of any more help?
Well, thank you, Joseph. We're at it.
is it, Christian?
Bill Craig, drowned.
Poor Louise, her only son. Bill Craig, but I saw him only this afternoon. He was going swimming. Where did you find him?
In the swamp near the ferry. Only his legs were sticking out. We had a hard time to get him loose.
How dreadful. The noose!
Oh, quiet, quiet, I say. Can't you see, you fools? There are only a few vines and roots around his neck, nothing else.
It's a perfect news for anybody who can see. It's the Strangler again.
Oh, don't be silly. Look. You see? If the county council had listened to me, they would have allotted money to drain the swamp. This wouldn't have happened.
Draining the swamp would never drive away the Strangler. It's not that easy to get rid of him.
There isn't any Strangler. He exists only in your own superstitious mind.
Is that so? Then why did you send your son to the city never to return? It's because you know you're all marked men. You and Chris and Joseph and my husband.
Oh, you're crazy. Here. Salt and Jeffers, carry the boy to his home. I'll go ahead and inform his mother.
It was the Strangler got Bill. Everything is coming true as he said it would. Word for word. Let's go and take down that cursed rope. Yes.
Who's there?
Martina Sanders.
What are you doing here at this time of night?
Just take us across to the other side, Joseph. They found Bill Craig tonight. A noose round his neck.
I saw Bill, but I didn't see anything like a noose.
The Strangler got him.
You'd believe anything, wouldn't you? Why doesn't he visit me? I live closest to his grave.
He will. You, too, are a marked man.
I'd like to see that old drunken card sharp again.
He was all that, yes, a no good. But was he a murderer?
Of course he was. Everyone knows that.
It was your testimony that hanged him, Joseph. He offered an alibi. If only you had listened to the few who didn't agree. But no, you had to act quickly. He just couldn't die fast enough for your crazy race. And you got what you always wanted, didn't you, Joseph? His ferry.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Then hold your tongue.
That evil noose was made when they found Farmer Brooklyn murdered in his field. They accused Ferryman Douglas of the crime and hanged him. He screamed that he was innocent, but that didn't stop them. It was then he spoke the curse. Joseph, why have you let that rope hang here all these years?
It serves as a warning.
A warning. To whom? Joseph, we're going to take that down.
No, it stays there. Since that's been there hasn't been any more trouble.
There's been more trouble than ever since it hangs there. Have you forgotten Bill Jenkins, who was thrown from his horse and choked to death by the rain? And Shelton, strangled by the pulley rope as he fell from his hayloft? And Henry Craig, throttled by his fishnet? And tonight his son Bill choked to death by the weeds.
What's Bill Craig to do with it? He wasn't even at the hanging.
Have you forgotten Douglas' vow that he'd return to strangle all of his hangmen and their descendants for generations to come?
He's become a scourge, sparing none of our men.
Nonsense, nonsense, I say. You're a bunch of superstitious old women. The rope remains where it is.
On the other hand, who needs a soggy old noose hanging around, cluttering up your nice, clean swamp? I wonder if that lifted the curse. I hope not. We have another hour and 50 minutes to fill yet.
For 2 million years in these subterranean caves, a creature of superhuman evil was entombed in a wall of ice, waiting to be free, waiting to live again. Travel with us on a journey into a world where nightmare becomes reality.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got onto that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Travel with us, if you dare, on the Horror Express.
We'll search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it.
But if it's alive...
I want this kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
The malignant power of this creature is indestructible, transferring its force from mind to mind, from body to body.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives.
The animal that you shot was only the host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You saw his eyes. One look at them and you're dead.
Anything that moves near that door, kill it!
Run. Run for your life. Hide, but you can't escape. No one can stop the fury and the terror of the Horror Express.
Now back to Strangler of the Swamp, where the noose that hanged Ferry Douglas has mysteriously fallen around the neck of the new ferryman, Joseph. Was it just a coincidence that rotting rope fell around Joseph's neck, or an ominous message from beyond? I'm hoping for ominous message.
A sign from heaven.
Nonsense. The rope was old, rotten. It just fell down.
It was a sign from heaven. A sign for you to make the sacrifice.
And lift the curse. And save the others. Yes, Joseph, heed it. Give yourself willingly into the hands of the Strangler, and his curse will be broken forever.
You must be insane, women. Sacrifice. Where did you get that silly idea?
Jenkins told me before the Strangler got in. He said that only the sacrifice of one of you or your kin could break the curse. Jenkins was a wise man. He knew a lot about these things.
Then why didn't he make the sacrifice?
He thought about it, but he waited too long.
Sacrifice ridiculous. I'm only 70. That's not old for a man. I've plans for the future. My grandchild will come, take over the ferry, and I'll have time to do what I always wanted. Plant sugarcane.
You're all like that. Only noble men are willing to give their lives to save others. You're all small. That's why the curse will never be lifted. Good night, Joseph.
Douglas, have you risen from the dead? What are you trying to do? Frighten me? I know it's just a trick of my imagination. But how is it I can see you? Where do you come from?
From my grave in the swamp. Whenever the heart and soul of a cursed one are filled with anguish to the brim, I appear. Tonight, it is your soul that calls.
You can't be there. You're not real.
Your guilty conscience is real. The rope you hang me with is real.
Poor old Joseph didn't leave much.
No.
Here are 2 pairs of trousers.
Describe them.
One dark, good shape. One gray. Worn, I'd say.
Gray, threadbare. Go on.
And 6 shirts. That's all's here.
6 shirts. You're very obliging, Jeffers, to help me with this inventory.
Thank you, Christian. I'm always glad to lend a hand.
I've been thinking for some time of getting you set into something more solid, more substantial than just odd jobs. Now we have something for you.
Me? Oh, I sure thank you, Christian, for thinking about me.
I was talking to the council this morning about you. They put up quite an argument, but finally they gave in.
They know who's boss, don't worry.
Yes, Jeffers, now you're the new ferryman.
Oh, no. No, not for $1 million.
What?
Nothing could make me spend even one night here.
Well, you're a coward.
I don't care what you say. I am afraid, but so are all the others.
Why, Anna has influenced you. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I can think for myself. I have my own theories. Where, for instance, is the rope we found around Joseph's neck? It was by the body when we brought him into the village square. Then it was gone. Things are not natural.
Oh, somebody took it, maybe. Maybe one of the children to play with it.
Or the Strangler.
Oh, you make me sick. Let's go on to the inventory.
Kids, listen to a bit of advice from your old friend, Lord Blood-Rah. When you see the body of a hanged man in your village square, don't steal the rope from around his neck. You shouldn't take what isn't yours, and besides, it's quite unsanitary. You don't know where that corpse has been. So remember, kids, don't steal nooses off of dead bodies. It's not nice. Just a few words of wisdom from Lord Blood-Rah.
Suppose there were no reports about this thing until 1946. What could have happened then to start the stories?
1946? Well, the bikini underwater experiments were set off then. Maybe that started something.
Deep down in the strange, lurid, murky depths of the Pacific are fantastic, horribly grotesque creatures of the sea that challenge man's courage as no earthly creatures can. Science knows some of the answers, but not all. And among science's unknowns is the strange identity of the living monster from the ocean floor.
How'd he get out of suit? No man gets through that.
Then what happened to him?
Here is the first undersea battle ever photographed between a giant killer shark and a woman, as she searches for a monster even more deadly.
Could absorb a man.
Or a woman. Bonnie, cast off on the double.
Here's some letters and papers.
Well, here, put them in here. I'll look at them later. Now, how about shoes and boots?
Well, oh, Christian, look. Someone on the opposite shore.
You know her?
Never saw her before.
Hello, Mr. Sanders.
Why, Maria.
That's right.
Here, let me take you back. Well, you were such a little girl. I'd forgotten all about you. It must be 10 years ago that you were here.
Where's Grandfather?
Well, come in and sit down.
What's wrong? Something happened to him?
Well, Maria, he wasn't young anymore. He was past 70.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
When did it happen? How?
He had a very easy death, Maria. Just slipped over into a better world. We buried him 3 days ago. It was a nice funeral. All the villagers were there to say goodbye. Oh, I know how you must feel, Maria. Why don't you come and stay at my house for a few days, at least until everything is all right?
You're very kind, Mr. Sanders.
I hope you won't find the bed too hard. When Chris left home, he was just the age when boys think they can become strong only by denying themselves every comfort.
I'm not spoiled.
Are you sure you're doing the right thing, Maria?
I think so.
But Maria, running the ferry is awfully hard work. And not for a woman.
I'm only doing what I think Grandfather would have wanted. And Mr. Jeffers and Mr. Sanders thought it was a good idea. Said I'd have more customers than I could handle. You see, being all alone, working in the city, well, it isn't much fun. And as far as the work being hard, I can do it. I'm strong.
But you'll still be living alone. And so far out.
I know, but it won't be the same, because it'll be mine. I'm not afraid.
No, young people never are. But I'm afraid.
Why? Of what? Everyone seems so nice.
Oh, you'll think I'm just a superstitious old woman. But the swamp, the things have happened out there that are not natural.
I don't believe in the supernatural.
But the danger is real. Oh, don't think I'm trying to give you bad dreams or that I'm trying to frighten you away. I'm not. I like you, dear. But I just couldn't bear to see you go out there without giving you a warning, dear.
You're very nice, Mrs. Saunders. Thank you so much.
Well, I guess I'd better be going downstairs. Mr. Sanders will be through with his meeting now. Good night, Maria. Sleep well under our roof, dear.
Thank you. Good night.
Christian, I'm sure the Strangler took it. Okay, took what? The rope. Eat. I can't sleep. I just wait for the Strangler to get us like he got Joseph.
Now, that is just nonsense. Joseph Hart committed suicide. I found proof among his papers. Here. Read this.
A confession. that he killed Berkeley in a quarrel and gave wrong testimony. And cowardly enough, I accused Ferryman Douglas. But believe me, neighbors and friends, I haven't had one peaceful hour since. Christian, that means that we hanged an innocent man.
We are guilty of acting too hastily, but what's done is done. And all our regrets won't bring a hanged man back to life.
But he is back. He walks among us and kills us one by one.
Now you can do no harm. In this sacred place, your power is broken. Dear Father, the little girl in our home, keep her safe from all harm.
Can't the village afford to have its own doctor instead of bothering you every time?
They're too sturdy. They simply won't get sick. A doctor would starve here.
Only from time to time they get their necks broken, don't they, Doc?
Very true, my boy. Accidents and occasionally a childbirth. The only thing they ever need me for. Goodbye, Maria.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Hurry, George. Pick up the bags. Come along.
Bye.
Spider Island.
8 beautiful girls and 1 lone man struggling for survival, with death, sudden, violent, and horrible, lurking in the shadows.
Horrors of Spider Island.
Out of the night came a fate worse than death. A man's mind twisted, his brain poisoned, with an uncontrollable lust to kill.
Horrors of Spider Island.
A tale of terror that will leave you limp. So hideous and shocking, you won't believe your eyes. His hunger for victims was never satisfied. Prepare to be frightened out of your wits by the
Horrors of Spider Island.
Well, don't get excited. I'm not trying to steal it. Just sit down. I'll pull it over.
It's my boat. I get paid for doing it.
You're, independent, aren't you? Maria. Mother wrote me about you.
Your mother?
Martina Sanders. I'm Christian Sanders, Junior.
All right, Junior, now just sit down and don't rock the boat.
Well, don't call me Junior. I don't like it. Call me Chris.
All right, Chris.
Same smell of swamp water. I missed it. I've been pretty homesick for the last 3 years.
You've come home to stay?
Yep, gonna be a farmer like my dad.
Your father's a very important man here.
Sure.
Sometimes I'm afraid of him. He's so stern, so sure of himself.
Well, you don't know him. He's soft as butter. I can wrap him around my little finger. Met any of the boys around here yet?
You?
Guess they're hanging around here all the time, huh?
Oh, no, they're much too nice.
Oh, bashful. Well, that's good. That's very good. I'll be seeing you.
You know, Chris, I worry every moment when you're home. I long to see you, dear, but why did you have to come home? Why?
Well, I love it here. More than any place in the world. I belong here.
Chris is right. It'll stop all the stupid rumors and gossip.
Don't worry, Mother. I believe in what you yourself taught. We're in the hands of the Almighty and nothing can harm us.
Chris, you're not going out. It's your first evening at home.
Well, I'm just going out with some of the fellas.
You don't stay out too late, son.
All right, Dad.
A fine boy, your son, Mrs. Sanders. The girls will be crazy about him at the Halloween dance.
Say, how'd you like to go to a Halloween dance with me?
Oh, that will be a busy day for me.
Every year I win all the prizes. I'm the best dancer around here.
I don't doubt it. I'm sure I'd enjoy it. But who would bring all the guests across?
That's crazy. Such a pretty girl worrying about her job. Say, you should marry, have a nice home.
I'm happy as I am.
Maybe so, but you need protection. You think I'm kidding. Listen, I'll tell you what nobody else in the village has dared tell you, because they're afraid to let you in on a secret of the village. Yep, the big secret of the Strangler, who roams around and kills people.
All right, George, you tell me your story some other time.
No, I'll tell you right now. You are in danger, believe me.
I can see that.
What's the matter with you? Running away from me, eh? I guess I'm a little pickled. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Better go home and sleep it off.
Thank you, Chris.
Next time he gets fresh, push him overboard.
I will. Good night.
No, you go in first and lock the door.
Good night, Chris.
Maria,
Yes?
is it all right if I stop around now and then? Just see everything's all right.
You'll find me right here. I can't very well get away.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow then.
Good night, Chris. Are you in love with her, Chris? Seriously?
Very much.
Oh, Chris, keeping a secret from your mother. What kind of a son are you? Did you tell her?
No.
Why not?
Well, I just can't seem to get up the courage.
No, that's a new side to your character.
Well, honest, Mom, it isn't as simple as you think. I just can't seem to get the right chance. And there are times I think she might turn me down.
Why should she? You're a handsome boy, come from a good family, and, well, if I were a young girl, I'd be waiting for you to speak up.
Well, I hope she is. So how did Dad pop the question?
Well, that was different. You see, we'd known each other since childhood, and we'd always taken it for granted that we'd marry each other.
Well, that is different.
Let your heart tell you when the right moment comes, Chris. The fewer words, the better then, dear.
There, now you won't fall through. Penny for your thoughts.
The swamp makes me think of fairy tales. So lovely. Any minute you expect beautiful old legends to come to life.
Well, at least somebody doesn't see evil spirits running around.
You know, I almost did last night.
Why?
In the middle of the night, I heard the signal. I ran down and pulled across to the other side. No one was there. I called out. There wasn't any answer. So I started back.
And?
Well, I had the strangest feeling that someone was standing behind me.
Look, Maria, you just can't stay out here at night any longer. I
Well,
won't...
Chris, what do you think I found this morning? A little dead bird lying near the plowshare. In the night, it must have flown right into it.
Well, it's an explanation. But believe me, Maria, you can't stay out here at night any longer. You've got to give up this ferry business.
I like my job, Chris. What else could I do?
Marry me. I love you, Maria.
Oh, Chris.
I love you very much.
Wait. The movie can't be over. Wait, what about the curse and the Strangler? Who'll run the ferry now? What? Oh, okay. It's not over yet. Whew. Thank Karloff. Well then, Maria, the ferry person, is being played by Rosemary LePlanc. That's an unfortunate name for an actor. Who also appeared in the rarely seen Devil Bat's Daughter, the sequel to the Bela Lugosi classic, The Devil Bat. Ferryman Douglas, the ghostly Strangler, is being played by Charles Middleton, a prolific actor who played in 213 films from 1920 all the way to 1949. But his most remembered role is that of the evil Emperor Ming from the Flash Gordon movie serials of the 1930s and 40s. And young Chris Sanders, who just popped the question to Maria, is being played by Blake Edwards, who began his career as an actor, but became much more famous as the producer-director who made the Pink Panther series of movies and the 1982 hit Victor Victoria. So, will the director of the Pink Panther movies and The Devil Bat's Daughter escape the curse of the evil Emperor Ming? Sounds a lot more interesting when you think about it that way, doesn't it?
I feel myself going back to the animal instinct. I lock myself in there with him, feeling that I might do something terrible. Ah! Billy! Billy! Ah! Help!
As we return to Strangler of the Swamp, it looks like Chris and Maria are going to get married, and the Strangler is up to no good again.
Christian, the Strangler almost got me. I saw him. I heard his voice.
Now, come. Don't be a fool. Pull yourself together. What happened?
I was coming home through the swamp. Suddenly, I saw a shadow and started running. I stumbled on a tree root. Then clammy, wet fingers grabbed me by the throat. I heard his devilish laugh, and then he was gone. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
When you fell, you got caught in a few wet twigs, that's all. Can't you reason anything out?
Oh, maybe I am crazy, but I just can't stand it any longer. I feel the rope hanging over us. You're so sure of yourself. You know everything, don't you? But let me tell you, Christian, there's only one way out for all of us. Sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
One of us must give himself voluntarily into the hands of the Strangler to break the curse.
You're willing to try anything, aren't you?
Christian, let me talk to you as one who admires you, thinks highly of you.
Come to the point.
You're rich and respected. You've accomplished everything that a man can expect of life.
And?
The village would always remember you. Would treasure your memory if you could bring yourself to make that sacrifice.
So you can sleep at night?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be more logical to save the greatest success in town, me, as you so nicely said, and sacrifice the greatest fool, you, Jeffers? Wouldn't that be more logical? If one of us has to jump in the swamp, it's going to be you. And if the Strangler doesn't get you, then pneumonia will. Now get out. Go on, get out. Get out, you crackpot. Oh, this swamp breeds more rumors than mosquitoes. I'm going to call the village council together and do something about it, and at once. We'll dry it up and build a road across it.
But you haven't any money. The county turned down your application for funds.
Well, I'll find a way. I use the church funds to begin with.
Christian, you won't dare. That money is pledged to build a church of our own. These poor people saved it penny by penny.
Well, they'll see the importance of my plan.
Nothing is more important in any community than a church. Christian, is it possible that you too, deep in your heart, are afraid of the swamp?
That's the most ridiculous statement I ever heard. I'm going over to see Cobb, and I'll be late for dinner.
I've got it all planned. Tomorrow night you put on your best dress, and I'll come out and get you. We'll go over and see Mom and Dad, and when we get their blessings, we can announce the engagement at the Halloween party.
But what about the ferry?
Forget about the ferry.
How could I, Chris? It's been too much like my life. Going back and forth from shore to shore. Never resting, never stopping. And I'll never forget that it brought us together. Being here with you, looking into your eyes. For the first time in my life, I know what it means to be home.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffers!
Don't try to stop us. We made up our minds.
I wasn't talking to you.
She's right. We don't want to spend another hour in this cursed village. We're leaving for good.
Oh, you coward.
Get out of my way. Come on.
Where's old Jeffers going?
He's running away from the curse.
Poor man, scares as easy as a rabbit.
Sit down, son. You're home early tonight for a change. I haven't seen very much of you the last few days.
Well, I guess you know where I've been spending most of my time.
Yes, I think I do. As a matter of fact, it's had me a little worried.
Well, you can forget it. We're getting married. I'm bringing Marie over tomorrow night to meet a new mother and father.
I wish I could give you my blessing, son, but I can't. Her grandfather, Joseph Hart, is a murderer.
What?
He killed Berkeley.
Well, you can't mean it.
Every word of it. I found his confession after he committed suicide.
Suicide? Well, does Maria know this?
No, I didn't tell her about it.
Well, I don't see why Maria should suffer for a crime her grandfather committed. She's as innocent as I am. I was guilty.
Oh, now, don't get excited, son.
Why not? There's a murderer in my family.
Chris!
You helped in the mobbing and hanging of Douglas for a crime somebody else had committed.
We had the word of Joseph Hart that Douglas did it. Joseph alone bears all the guilt.
Everybody shares in the guilt of that hanging, including you and me.
Nonsense, you weren't even there.
The sight of Maria fills your righteous heart with horror just because she's kin of a bad man. Then that same horror should shake you every time you look at me, because you're no different than Joseph Hart.
Chris, you've said enough. Don't bring that girl in this house.
Then I won't be here tomorrow night either. Good night. Strangler.
What is it, Chris?
So his face.
Whose face?
Face of the man they hanged. Took the shortcut.
Yes, darling, and ran into a deer trap.
He was a strangler.
Don't speak. Don't be afraid. Close your eyes. And I'll hurry for Dr. McDaniel. I'll be right back.
Chris is doomed. A doctor cannot help. He will die. Once this boat was mine.
I know now. What are you going to do?
Make sure he dies.
Don't. He's gone.
He shall not escape.
Dance, baby, dance, come and dance with me. Hear the beat of the pounding sea. Ride, baby, ride, come and ride with me. Let your feet go easy and free.
What do you make of this? Where does the other end go? It dumps into the ocean.
It looks exactly like the South American Fantigua fish. I hope you can take one alive, Sheriff.
I still believe that a human clawed that girl to death.
The Beach Girls and the Monster, starring John Hall, Sue Casey, and the glamorous Watusi dancing girls from Hollywood's famed Whiskey A Go-Go nightclub. Music by Frank Sinatra Jr.
You got a monster in the surf. Yeah, yeah.
Chicks, do you have a problem? You won't have after you meet the monster on the beach. If you see this ghoul, play it cool. Beauties in bikinis, laughing, singing, surfing, sinning. Beach party lovers making hey hey in the moonlight while the monster waits and watches. Yeah. This one will kill you.
As we go on to the conclusion, yes, the conclusion, it's a short film, of Strangler of the Swamp, Maria, who unbeknownst to her is the granddaughter of the man who committed the murder Ferry Douglas was unjustly hanged for, is searching for her fiancé, Chris, who is the son of one of the men who hanged Douglas, who was attacked by Douglas's vengeful ghost as part of a curse on all who wrongly hanged Douglas and their children, and is now missing after the ghost presumably abducted him from her cabin. Wow, they packed a lot into this little movie, didn't they?
Maria. Maria.
Is Christian going to try and talk the people out of their church fund in his Halloween speech? He can't do it, can he, Martina?
He certainly will try. We won't let him.
I want a roof over my head when I pray.
Tonight I shall tell you of my plan to enrich our farmland by draining the swamp. Naturally, a project like this costs money. Since our village isn't wealthy, each of us will have to make sacrifices.
Is Chris here?
You should know better than I where Chris is, bursting into this house.
The Strangler's after Chris.
What are you saying?
The Strangler caught him in a deer trap.
Is he dead?
He was almost dead when I found him.
Well, where is he?
I don't know. I was running for the doctor when the Strangler stopped me.
Well, never mind the Strangler. Where is Chris?
I took him to the hut, and then he was gone. And oh, he's in the swamp. The Strangler.
Well, tell Mrs. Sanders. Tell the others. Tell them to start a search. I'll go ahead. Now, whoever finds Chris first will take him across to the doctor. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right.
Let the fool run. I'll get him, too. Don't move. Stay here and tell no one. There is no help for him. No matter where you go, I'll stop you. I'll deafen their ears to you. Run, run, you little fool. Run till your heart bursts.
You shall not touch him as long as I live.
Chris! Oh, you'll be all right, my son. I'll get you to the doctor.
Run for the old chapel. He can't follow there. The church. My darling.
A strangler.
We're safe here in the chapel.
There is no escape. He will die. I'll wake the village. They'll bring help. We must destroy him.
He's dying. He's dying.
He's dying.
He will not die. No, no. He cannot die.
Nothing can save him.
I can save him.
Don't, Maria. Don't cross the threshold. We're safe on the inside. Don't cross.
Your cruel hands shall not touch him anymore. I give myself willingly into your hands. Take me. Give up the fight. Leave vengeance to the Almighty. Make peace with him. Make peace with him. Leave the living alone.
I can breathe again.
He's gone, Chris. He's gone forever.
Well, what do you know? Old Ghost Douglas was a softy after all. He couldn't go through with it. Well, good for him. And if you were betting on a Scooby-Doo ending where Ferry Douglas's ghost gets unmasked and they find out it was really old lady Winkleman all along, then we were both wrong because I thought the same thing. Well, we'll be back with a special surprise after this.
Feed me food. Oh, take it easy, Dracula. What do you think I'm carrying here, my dirty laundry?
Where a man-eating, talking plant gives homicide something to think about.
I didn't do it.
Do what?
Whatever.
Ever see this man?
Man, see picture.
Why are you so nervous? Oh, boy, you kiss good, Audrey.
Oh, I guess I just have a good kisser.
Now you will do as I say.
Yes, master.
You will go out and find me some food.
Yes, master.
What's the matter? Don't you like me?
Too bony.
Too bony? Nobody ever told me that before.
Beef is better than veal.
Ah, you're such a dodo. What do you call this? Chopped liver?
Well, my lords and ladies, as always, a short film for me means a big surprise for you. And tonight, we have a classic bit of vintage TV for you, from a series which started on radio. Suspense was a great old radio series which ran from 1940 to 1962, presenting chilling and macabre radio dramas. In 1949, a television series based on the radio program was launched, which ran until 1954. Tonight, we have the Halloween offering from the series from the year 1952. Without further ado, I give to you the appropriately titled All Hallows Eve.
Apples and parsnips, fainted, sir.
What the devil are you doing to me?
You fainted, sir.
Pick your hands up.
Shall I run for a doctor?
It's nothing. Nothing at all. I'm frequently taken with spells.
Oh, sir, you must have dropped this.
Dropped what?
A dagger, sir. Isn't this your dagger? It's a beauty. Something for All Hallows Eve?
I've been here many times. I've sold this place as some of the finest pieces they have.
Tomorrow, sir. We're closed now. Sir, I told you we were closed.
Where's your master?
In the back, sir, but he can't be disturbed. He's going over figures.
Behind that door? Is that where he is?
I wouldn't know, sir. It's no use, sir. It's double barred. He always bars it when he's going over figures.
Going over figures? Or going over his stacks of gold?
I wish you'd be kind and go, sir. Believe me, nothing will bring him out.
Nothing? Oh, good of you to come out of your lairs.
Really, Mr. Markheim?
Be off. Off to whatever little nonsense you were off to.
Now, sir, will you tell me why you come here at this hour? Surely you know that I'm alone in my house and make a point of refusing business?
Well, you'd better not refuse my business.
Very well, Mr. Markheim, but you'll have to pay for that. And pay besides for a kind of manner that I regard in you today very strongly.
Nonsense. I'm no different today than any day.
What have you got under your cape? What is it you come to sell?
Not a thing.
Oh, don't worry, sir. We are alone here. You may speak out. Believe me, sir, I am the essence of discretion and ask no awkward questions. All I mean, Mr. Markheim, is that when a customer cannot look me in the eye, he has to pay for it.
Yes, indeed I know. You've built your fortune on that, haven't you? On years and years of underpaying poor devils like myself.
Mr. Markheim, you can give, as usual, a clear account of how you came into the possession of the object underneath your cape.
When I think of all the times I've seen that leer on your face.
All the times you brought me things from your uncle's cabinet? My, what a valuable collection he must have. And inexhaustible, I should say, wouldn't you? Almost as inexhaustible as all the fine houses one might steal from in London.
Sir, you are in error.
Oh?
In absolute error.
Really?
Yes. I have recently done remarkably well at the gaming table. I come now not to sell, but to buy.
Oh, well, Mr. Markheim. Really, sir, I do felicitate you.
Yes, I thought you would.
And now, what may I show you?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry I dropped the mate, but I'll gladly pay. It was £10, I believe.
How do you happen to be in here? Don't you know the place is closed?
I'm sorry, the door was open, and so I strolled in.
Well, stroll out.
That's all right, Mr. Markheim. I'll take care of this. Thank you, sir.
Not at all.
Good day, sir. And now, sir, what will it be? Mr. Markheim.
I see. A birthday present for a lady. I must present my little compliment at dinner tonight. And as you well know, A rich marriage is not a thing to be neglected. Good heavens. What's that?
A delightful old clock. It's called the murderer's clock, or time's revenge, because every hour there's another killing. Would you care for that, sir?
No clocks. I think I want no clocks.
Now, sir, how about a fine piece of glass? Now, there's a choice piece for a lady. A picture mirror, 15th century.
A mirror? For a birthday? Surely not.
Why not?
Oh, look at it. Look at yourself. Do you like to see yourself? Do you really see yourself? No. Nor I. Nor any.
Really, sir, you are in a difficult mood. Perhaps you could use a hand glass.
I ask you for a present, and you give me this hellish reminder of the years and sins, follies. Do you mean for me to look and examine my life?
Sir, I do think you should rest for a minute. You appear to be all of a fever.
You look. Examine your life and tell me, is it worth an instant more?
Really, sir, you must make your purchase and be off. Have you thought of a snuff box?
Tell me, sir, are you charitable? Are you pious? Are you scrupulous? Look here, see this dagger? Suppose the assassin's hand were hovering over you. What could you cry out? What could you possibly cry and say?
Really, sir, I'm forced to send for a constable.
Are you loving? No. Are you loving? No. I see you looking at your locked door. What are you thinking? Will you live long enough to get back to your great chest gorged with gold? Is that your question? Then may I give you a proper reply?
It looks like the reply was in the negative.
From ancient Genesis to the modern screen, is the name written in blood. Ega!
If I could just call you on the phone. The code of the ghost at the sign of the toad. Nobody lives on the Brownsville Road.
Thrill to the newest recording star, Archibald Jr.
Oh, they scream in this way.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl.
Noah.
Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. They lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Ega's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Ega talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time. See Ega!
Now back to the Suspense episode, All Hallows Eve, in which our Mr. Mannheim has just committed cold-blooded murder. Will he get away with it? Will he get caught? And how exactly are you going to winterize your car?
incredibly small, strangely nearer than in life. What if someone saw you through the window? You should have killed the servant. She'll come back. She'll tell. Run now. No, wait. 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 Past is irrevocable. Go in the back. Get the money. Get the gold. Get it so you can marry her. You love her. Now you can marry her. Hurry. Hurry. See the gallows. Isn't blood excuse enough? See the prison, see the gallows, see the black coffin.
Weather's coming fast. And if I want my car to last, I'd better hurry and be wise. For now's the time to winterize. I'll get a change of oil and grease and buy some antifreeze.
And don't forget, whatever you do, check those important spark plugs, too.
Check the spark plugs?
Mm-hmm. And here's Rex Marshall. He'll tell you why you should check those spark plugs, too.
I sure will, Johnny Plugcheck. You know, friends, the spark plugs are the very heart of your car's ignition system. And if they're worn out or if they're wrong for your car, you're liable to have real trouble, especially in the cold weather that's coming. But if your spark plugs are right, you'll get quicker, surer starts every time. And your engine will give you better all-round winter performance. So why don't you pay a quick visit soon to your Autolite spark plug dealer and let him check those spark plugs for you. You know, he's an acknowledged expert on cleaning and adjustment, and if replacements are needed, he'll recommend ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs. For example, the Autolite resistor type. You know, this great spark plug development was brought about after years of research by Autolite engineers working closely with the staffs of leading car manufacturers. The built-in Autolite resistor eliminates nearly all of the burning, harmful part of the spark and permits a wider gap, which gives us such extra benefits as double spark plug life, smoother engine performance, and quicker starts. And you know, the Autolite resistor type spark plug is just one of a complete line of ignition-engineered Autolite spark plugs designed for every use. So before winter comes, why don't you pay a visit to your neighborhood Autolite spark plug dealer and have those spark plugs checked. You'll find him wherever you see this sign, or simply call Western Union and ask operator 25 for his location. Well, we took care of Johnny Plugcheck's friend, and there he goes, all set to plunge headlong into the winter weather.
Now in winter snow and ice, I'm glad that I took his advice.
So winterize right now, please do. And check those important spark plugs, too.
And now, the second act of All Hallows Eve, starring Franchot Tone.
What do you want? Be gone with you! Off now, off! All right. Rascals. What is it?
Something for All Hallows Eve.
How long have you been out there looking?
Not long, sir.
How long? Since I came in?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What did you see?
You, sir?
Is that all? You didn't see anybody else?
Oh, no, sir. And even if we had, sir, we wouldn't tell.
Wouldn't tell what?
Wouldn't tell what we saw. Something for All Hallows Eve?
Here.
Something for my brothers? Hallows Eve is the time for singing witches' songs.
Why don't I feel a tremor of penitence? Why no remorse?
Assume the position and open your minds wide. It's time for your cranial cavity search. Yes, my lords and ladies, the cranial cavity search. Here's a chance for all you great geeks out there to prove your geek cred by showing what you know. And tonight's cranial cavity search question is: every culture on Earth has their own legend involving ghosts, and there are many names for these spirits and apparitions. Which of the following words is not another word for ghost? A. Haint. B. Manes. C. Kanafi. Or D. Lemures. Ha ha! Which of these words does not mean ghost? We'll find out after these commercials mean irritation for you. And the answer to tonight's cranial cavity search question: which word was not another word for ghost? It was C. Kanafe. Haint is a word used in the Appalachian region of the U.S., meaning angry spirit. Manes is a Roman word for a benevolent spirit or the spirit of an ancestor. Lemures is also a Roman word meaning a restless or frightening spirit. And Kanafe? Kanafe is a Middle Eastern dessert of flaky pastry, cheese, and syrup. Ooh, I could go for some Kanafe. Anyway, now, on to the conclusion of the Suspense episode, All Hallows Eve, as Mr. Mannheim faces an unexpected visitor. And, hey, how are you fixed for headlights?
Footsteps. Or is it leaves falling on the roof?
You're not alone. Sir, you're not alone. There's someone behind you. No, the other way. Then it must be upstairs. Or is it in the front? Is it the dead man getting to his leg?
if nature plays me a trick? What if the whole house falls? What if the solid walls become transparent?
Did you see it all? You little devils, you saw it all the time. And you called a constable. Here, you fiends, take this. Take this!
Mr. Markheim, there's someone in the shop. Mr. Markheim, don't you hear the footsteps in the shop?
Called me.
You were taking some money, I believe. I should warn you that the maid has left her sweetheart earlier than usual. She will soon be here.
That tea's cold.
No matter. Mr. Markheim, if you be found in this house, I need not answer for the consequences.
You know me.
You have long been a favorite of mine. I have long observed you.
Who are you?
A friend of yours. An admirer. And now I wish to help you.
But you don't know me.
I know you to the soul.
I don't even know myself. My life is but a slander to myself. I live to belie myself. Actually, I hate evil. Look me in the face. Can't you see in me the clear writing of conscience? Can't you see me for what I am? An unwilling sinner.
Ah, the servant delays, looking in the windows, but still she moves nearer. And remember, it is as though the gallows itself was trudging towards you through the holiday streets. Shall I help you up? Shall I help you pack up your gold and escape?
At what price?
No price. I offer this service so simply as a gift.
No, wait. I know who you are. I will take nothing at your hands. I will not commit myself to evil.
Evil for which I live consists not of action, but of character. The bad man is dear to me, not the bad act. It isn't because you have killed a man that I want to help you. It's because you are Markheim, and that is why I want to help you escape.
This is my last crime. From this, I've learned a momentous lesson. Today, from this deed, I plucked not only riches, but warning. Today, I shall no longer be driven by poverty. I shall be married and respected and live my life in godliness. Well, why do you laugh at me? Can't you see that from now on I'm a changed man? These hands will become the agents of good. My heart will at last be at peace.
Markheim, in all the years that you have been in this earth, I have watched you steadily fall.
Don't block my way. I've killed once, I'll kill again.
15 years ago, you would have shuddered at the idea of a theft. 3 years ago, you would have blenched at the name of murder. Downward, downward through the years, in every part of you, all of you goes with a looser rein. Therefore, content yourself with what you are. For you will never change.
No, I wouldn't. Only let me out of here. I'll change.
That's the maid. Do you remember? I forewarned you. And now, you let her in. And after you let her in, you will kill her very quietly, as you killed her master. Kill her.
No. I'm going to change. Remember, you are committed to evil. You are no longer free to act. But It's the last evil deed of my life.
Yeah, you are the better temptation. You belong to me. You belong to me without power or will. Open the door, Markheim. Let the maid in quietly. Then let her turn quietly. And then kill her quietly.
What is it, sir? What would you, sir?
Go for the police. I killed your master.
So we come to the end of another story of suspense brought to you by Autolite. Tonight our story was entitled All Hallows Eve, from the story Markheim by Robert Louis Stevenson. In just a moment I'll tell you something about our next suspense story. But first I'd like to point out something particularly interesting to you drivers. When you need a new seal beam headlight for your car, you want to be very sure you get one that can take it if it's broken from stones, shot up from the road, or other causes. You know, when you take an ordinary seal beam unit and puncture it as a flying stone might do, you'll see that the light burns out, and it's useless to you. But do the same thing to an Autolite bullseye seal beam headlight, and it continues to burn, giving you added protection. Well, the Autolite bullseye seal beam headlight gives you further protection. It puts more light on the road by concentrating the stray reflected light and adding it to the main driving beam. So when you need a new sealed beam unit for your car, just look for this box. Inside, you'll find the Autolite bullseye sealed beam headlight. And this is the one, the white bright headlight, that gives you increased visibility, that promotes greater safety on the highway, and it's made to fit every make of car. Remember, won't you? From bumper to headlight, you're always right with Autolite. Next week, Suspense is relinquishing its time in order that you may receive the election returns. 2 weeks from tonight, our story will be The Moving Target, a story based on a recent true incident at the Olympic Games. A story well calculated to keep you in suspense.
You know, I noticed something strange in that Suspense episode. Besides the Autolite commercials, I mean.
Something for All Hallows Eve?
Here.
Something for my brothers?
So, back in the day when kids went trick-or-treating, they were handed knickknacks, candlesticks, and figurines? I know that our custom of trick-or-treating comes from begging on All Hallows Eve, but, come on. Not even a Tootsie Roll? A lint-covered breath mint from your pocket? A stale Easter peep? Nothing? Oh well. I'm glad we have the trick-or-treating tradition we have today. My lords and ladies, I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to invite you all back again next week when we'll do whatever this is all over again. As always, I am Lord Blood-Rah saying, geek out.